G'day fellas. Welcome to the fourth game in the series between AgeofKiller and Kaister. Spawning in the west of the map is AgeofKiller playing the Spanish, and his opponent, spawning in the east of the map, is Kaister. In this challenge, Kaister is only allowed to play Portugal. Every single map is summer, Saguenay, and in this series, AgeofKiller is proving that Kaister, on the Portuguese in particular, is not so strong, and that it doesn't require a nerf. His main civ, the Portuguese. Harrison, how are you finding the matchup so far? Seems to be relatively even. Scores currently sit at 2-1. AgeofKiller's got the lead. Who do you think's going to win this game?
Well, if this was a land map, you'd have to put it in favour of the Spanish, but the water presence does allow Portuguese tactical options to go water, which, you know, until recent times was a very big deciding factor in this matchup. But you feel that Spain would have to try and push through walls, through CM, and try and break down the Portuguese player, just like how we saw the last game, which Breeze approached with from the German point of view. But this game, though, is no same game. Spain has their own new tricks up their sleeve and checking by the deck, as to be expected, with the inclusion of the advanced artillery, specifically for you, Drongo, expecting to see some Spanish logistician action, allowing the Spanish player very, very strong early water openings to directly contest the Portuguese head-on the water, fight for island supremacy, fight for water control, and fight for all those lovely little fish in the sea.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to this game. So I actually do really like Spain in this matchup. I think that they're quite strong against Portugal, especially on a map like this where there's enough space away from the town center that you can almost fit an outpost in pretty much anywhere along this shoreline as Spain. So if the Portuguese player puts a dock here and then puts a town center here, Spain's going to be able to outpost here. It should be able to outpost here. It can outpost up here towards the north as well, and really just cut the complete shore off from the Portuguese player. So I'll be curious to see exactly how AgeofKiller does decide to play this matchup. But I suspect we're probably going to have a Spain victory somewhat early in the game. I'm a big fan of Spain on this, or in this matchup. Now, getting that age up in queue, going up with the logistician at 2 minutes 12, not a bad time at all. Portugal's probably already on the way up. They are indeed going up with the quartermaster, getting that age up in queue probably a little bit before, maybe 2 minutes 10, 2 minutes and 9 seconds perhaps. Sending that villager out there, going to be placing that dock down, almost up to 200 wood already. So very, very decent effort. One of the things that we note is that typically in these matches, the Portuguese player is almost never scouting out the opponent's base. It's almost like they just ignore their side of the map completely until they have to be over there. They just really don't care what their opponent is doing. They just do their own thing. And now we've got a bit of an interesting situation right here, because we've got the Nootka Clubman beginning to siege down the dock. The dock is slowly getting up here, but this might be an indication of things to come. Settler also going down as well, down to 77 HP at the moment, trying to get its melee attacks onto the dog, and potentially we see a snare coming out now on the Nootka Clubman. So this villager might get away. We've got a second dock coming down here now. So one of the things about
that's from Spain. That's from Spain.
It is indeed. So
neighbouring docks. And also, just wanted to note, but is either overgathering, which, you know, possibly, but I feel that the Spanish player here, Breeze, has deliberately gathered 200 foods here, and by the time that new shipment comes in, that'll be 300 foods, which, you know, 300 food in your bank. So what? That's 4 dogs. I'm thinking, is he trying to, like, deny that town centre from Portuguese on the coast? A couple of dogs will force that town centre back into base and away from the coastline. That's
a great idea, actually. It's not something I'd considered. Both players now hitting the second age at the same time. We don't actually see that town center wagon coming out, but look at Kaister, how cheeky he is. Did you see that? Did you see that? Barely even spotting that town center moving up towards the north. And now the covered wagon managing to get up towards the north here.
That's huge, that is. That's huge. I think both players are sending caravels at this point. That both players realistically understand the significance of what's going on here. 2 caravels from Portugal, 2 caravels from Spain. Portugal train another caravel from the dock as well, and that could be the deciding factors, that third caravel. Spain, if they get their shipment in, might want to try and target down that town centre. But the caravel from the Portuguese player looks to hit the floor first. There comes the caravels. Spain might want to move its home city flag actually to reduce the risk of despawning a caravel. Does have time ahead of this though. Really early action. This is really a fast-paced game so far.
Yeah, very typically in this matchup, we do see games end very quickly.
Actually, high risk despawning. What's going on here? What's going on here?
They managed to get through. They managed to get through. But we've now got the 3 caravels up against the 2 caravels, just waiting for this this third caravel. There it is. Finally, town center down on 2,600 hit points.
3 caravels apiece. This is full aggro water opening from both players. This is the classic give anxiety 3 caravel rush, but unfortunately there's 2 docks and a town center there to deal with. From the Spanish player's point of view, he has to retreat with his tail between his legs. Early opening initiative got in favour of the Portuguese, and the logistician bonus not really being used here from Spain. He's actually sending advanced combat on his dock, so no extra resources. Crab got his asking to fix the score. Is the score currently 2-1?
The score is currently 2-1.
Yeah. I don't actually see the UI. I'm watching your screen. Oh, just Crab got being out of date, not in the know. Tut Crab, get on with it. Up your game.
A little bit of an interesting spot right now. It looks like this town center is going to be going down. I didn't think this was actually going to be happening, but it looks like Breeze is going to be able to get down this town center. It's down to 6 HP right now. A lot of villagers inside that town center, so the Explorer doing a lot of work in preventing that town center from being able to repair up, because we saw the caravels move away to the north and then come back down. But now with that town center going down, we're potentially going to see a little bit of a difficulty for Kaister when it comes to booming, sending in that 700 wood behind this as well, and now looking for those caravels wherever they are to the north, and just spotting them over towards the east. A bit of a
this is a proper game of cat and mouse, and one thing I've just noticed is look at the score. Spain ahead by 800 points, which I don't know where it's come from. Big engagement here, 4 caravels, a lot of area of effect damage on double caravel from Portuguese stacking. Breeze just continuously train caravels, and he's just dominated the water. I think Kaister may have just stopped, but we've got to remember this is the Spanish advanced warships card coming in, working to its full effect at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, he sent through, both of these cards. We've now got advanced dock coming through as well for Kaister as well. So dropping down the docks. So ideally, all he needs to be doing is just dropping down docks, dropping down a house in his base, and just training fishing boats and tasking them inside of his dock. That way, they essentially become outposts. This dock looks like it's going to be going down. Potentially going to be losing both of these docks here. Ideally, he needs to have a caravel targeting down this settler as well. It is in line of sight of him, I think. No, it's not in line of sight. He doesn't actually know about this. Okay, makes a lot of sense. So the dock
is only as useful as the amount of fishing boats it contains within. There's 2 fishing boats running away, but pick those off before they get into another one. Instant pick off there. A little bit of backwards kiting there from the caravel, trying to get it away from the starting dock from Portuguese. God, because both of the civilizations share the same architectural design, it's really tough to see whose dock belongs to who, apart from the obvious flag flying above. But they're both white background flags, so sometimes it does get a little bit confusing. But Kaister's 2 docks standing, same as Breeze. I'm not too sure Breeze trained many fishing boats behind this. Is that another caravel in the southern part running away? And yeah, goes picked off. So more pickups, and is it Spain sending advanced dock, or is Portugal sends it as well? Let's check the card orders from both players.
Yeah, so we've got 3 villages, followed by 300 wood, and then into 2 caravels, and then improved warships. If we take a look over at Kaister, he's now sending in rendering plant. So relatively greedy card here. So not looking at sending something like we've actually got Team Coastal Defenses finally in the deck now. So he took out the 8 Cazador. So great to see that the 8 Cazador has come out. Team Coastal Defenses has gone in. He's also got rid of the 2 organs and put in the Genitors, if I remember correctly. Or it actually could be that he's put in sustainable agriculture instead.
Villagers on the island. 5 villagers as well. That's a lot. They're throwing down an outpost. And this has got all the signs of a Team Coastal Defense card from Spain. And he's sending it right now, buffing the attack of the docks and the outposts versus warships. So really nice card to send. Obviously, that will give resources as well. changing it for the 300 coin instead.
It's changed it 3 times now, I think. Yeah, he's gone from...
I guess what Spain wants, he wants to get a couple outposts down just to get them down, and then once he knows that he can get value from the Team Coastal Defences card, that's when he'll move into that card afterwards. But is that another villager on the Western Islands from Portugal for another dock? So this game is just pure water madness. Both players on the land, gentleman's agreement, absolutely no action, probably not even a market from either player, just ignoring everything else happening on the land. There's surprisingly a barracks in base there for Kaister. That's actually genuinely surprised me that has, but I don't think he's training many musketeers from it.
Yeah, a little bit of a stalemate now on the water. Got both players that are beginning to train fishing boats as well. So we've got 4 fishing boats out now for Breeze. We take a look at Kaister. He's still training a lot of fishing boats, up to 35 villages at the moment, compared to the 27 of his opponent. So doing well in outbooming him. But we do see that the Spanish player is now going for Stagecoach as well. So going to be looking to improve his economy even further. Looks like this villager is potentially going to be going down. Does indeed go down. Kaister trying to get...
Did you see that bounce shot from the villager? Bounced off the land and landed on the fishing boat's hull, doing damage. That's
Did it really?
Shot. Yeah, it's a trick shot. That was so cool to see. Obviously, he didn't mean it, but he would say he meant it all the way.
Yeah, I think he definitely meant it. Yeah, that fishing boat only coming out of the advanced dock just to try and pick up that settler before it died, and then head back into the dock, but unfortunately it did go down at the end of the day. So I guess it's a bit of a difficult spot now for Kaister, because he's down this town center when realistically he should be up a town center. Ideally, instead of sitting on 40 villages at this point in time, he should probably be sitting on close to about 46, 47. And part of the reason why he's not on that high number is because he doesn't have that town center out producing villages anymore.
You see Breeze researching Stagecoach with stage line not fully under his control. Kaiser still having one, so having to train military and giving Kaiser extra eco boost as well, when Kaiser can just change that to wood and just spend it on more fishing boats. And I think Kaiser's given up on sending advanced warships and training caravels, when you could just have lots of fishing boats in docks doing massive amounts of damage that way, especially when the docks are in the middle of the islands and there's no real way that the caravels can raid the fishing boats. Oh my god, there's a new pond in Saguenay. There's the sea and now there's an actual pond. Just imagine if a monitor could spawn in there, just a monitor just rotating about, just dunking on anything it can see in its sights.
Do you see the shape of this pond as well? This is a love pond.
Well, if you hold shift and use your mouse wheel, you can rotate it to actually see it in its full glory. Honey, you're so sweet.
Look at the beautiful sunset as well. We've got the salmon jumping up.
This is glorious.
Welcome.
Actually, I want a bit of variation. I've seen this map too much. Can we actually stay in this view? This looks pretty sick. I want to see all the buildings the other way around.
All right, we'll do our best.
There we go.
Oh, it looks so weird on the mini-map now. I don't really know exactly what we're looking at.
Saguenay version 2.0. It's the shadows which will throw you off the most. But here's some musketeers exchanging each other, 5 musketeers. But the advantage here surely is with Kaister. Well, no, actually, because of the Minutemen, because of Kaiser's musketeers focusing down Breeze's explorer there. Breeze with the Spanish musketeers getting an extra volley off on his units. More reinforcements coming in on top of Kaister's units. Kaister has to retreat back to his single town center. Remember, he's invested cards like schooners, like 2 caravels. He hasn't got CM in his deck. His town center is actually quite vulnerable if the Spanish player wanted to push. Although he can send that card, that's a card Breeze really needs to invest in other ways, especially when he's only got the 1 town center. Oh, third age. Town center.
Third age indeed. I think we're back on the default view right now. Hopefully that's a little bit better for everybody in the chat. I know that probably would have been throwing off a couple people. Hopefully we've got it all worked out now.
I have no idea how Floco can play Supremacy games in rotated camera view. He always likes to play like an up-down. Like I'm on the spawn on the south of the map. My opponent always spawns north, and just the building architecture, just you get used to what a town center looks like. You get used to what a market looks like. But looking at the backside of a market, you're thinking, what on earth is this? And just completely throws you off.
It just looks like all the buildings look the same. Like, it's just the backside. They all have like this bland 2 like dual angles It's yeah, it throws you off. Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna try and get it up. I think that there is the correct angle. Is it shift backspace? I don't know exactly what the hotkey is. Cassador's out now though.
Dogs on Cassadors. Oh no, this is actually a really smart play from Breeze. And a big actually Cassador's here. These dogs are just gonna mow these guys down. Cassador's really strong versus dogs. They are classed as hand infantry, but you know, 22 hand attack versus these low HP units with range resist should be a good trade at least. It's only 75 food units, and Cassadors are, you know, they're coin heavy, exploring hand combat as well. Dogs are biting their way through the Portuguese army. Would have actually liked to see a couple of musketeers here just on top, probably extra fire. Castles may pick up the clone musketeers, but then the dogs will just go to town. And yeah, that's a good trade. Back to the water though. The game has somewhat progressed on the water. Second outpost, Falconet is coming from AgeofKiller. He's Age up as well. Has Team Coastal Defenses been sent yet? I don't think it has. Would be worth checking from the Spanish point of view. Would be a nice tactical card. No, not quite yet. 2 Falconets was sent, but 1 Falconet was picked up by the broadside from the frigates. And yeah, that kind of really justifies, I think, why Coastal Defenses here may have been a smarter card. That Falconet is outranged, outgunned, but the frigate can't touch the outposts.
Yeah, it's a curious decision. I mean, we understand it. I think it'd probably be a bit more reasonable to just send petards over here. 2 petards on each island is going to clean up both of those islands, and yeah, and now we've got the difficult spot of lancers up against melee Cassadors. So, Harrison, do you know what the melee attack of a Cassador is?
Do you want the funny answer or the actual answer?
I
think.
Give me the funny answer.
Well, it's probably the actual answer at the same time. I mean, okay, funny answer would be like, oh yeah, they pull out a doppel sword from the, you know, they.
That's not the funny answer. The funny answer is it's too low. That is
too low.
Yeah.
It's like 6, isn't it? It's either 6 or 5.
It doesn't matter what it is. It's just not. It's not enough. It needs to be increased.
Not enough.
Yeah, like when you look at like a lancer, which is doing say 60 damage to the Cassador, it's just it's not fair.
Ah, didn't.
Tell me what your joke was.
Remember, you know, we were trying to prove that Portuguese is OP. We don't need to request. Well, actually, what is the objective? Are we proving for Portuguese is OP or not OP? Because it looks like Breeze is having an upper hand in this game once again as the Spanish, but I suppose the Spanish position. That's no surprise. Dock going down, lots of fishing boats exposed. Even musketeers getting on the action, picking off fishing boats. Is that Falconet still alive on the island? Would be nice to get on the action. Looks like that was taken down by the frigates. Outposts, they don't have bonus multipliers versus fishing boats, but what's the caravel? It's 5 villagers.
5 villagers, and there's 40. There's oh no, oh no, 5 villagers just gone like that. You hate to see it. CM getting called. Also known as the safety button.
Holy shit! Is the counter attack on? Like that is huge.
The swing
going
begins.
Down, 5 vills and so many musketeers cleaning up. The amount of XP that Kaister would have harvested from those pickups would be quite nice. I don't think you get XP from sinking enemy military units on a boat if they die. I don't actually know that. I don't think they do.
I'm not too sure about that. No.
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah. I get.
Yeah. I'll raise that to the patch team. Hey guys, can we get extra XP for killing units on a boat?
I think that's quite reasonable. But yeah, Kaister definitely in a decent spot. Obviously struggling a little bit now. We see with the score, he's down by about 2k score. Doing his best to sort of get back into the game. Still got docks on both of the islands respectively. Probably gonna just need to get some form of siege over here that's just not lancers and muskets. It's gonna take a while for these to eventually go down. Let's take a look. How many boats are actually out here for the players? So we've got AgeofKiller with a single frigate, and that's it. It's actually healing up right now. How is it healing up this close to the dock? Does the dock have a heal range that big? I thought you had to be right next to the dock. It just healed up that frigate all the way to the max.
Yeah, it looks like the Rangers range is quite large there, but it has to be stationary though. That's the key factor. Is it has to be stationary, not engage with any fighting for the time being. You're looking at heal rate work, but it doesn't seem to be any range indication.
Yeah.
Most importantly though, the fish nearby Kaiser's northern docks is starting to be very limited, and at the moment Kaiser's got control of only 2 whales in the ponds. The whale on the far west of the map, or southwest of the sea, and the far east. But apart from that, resources are looking very low for Kaister, and he needs to do something soon until his water eco goes down the pan.
Yeah, so now moving over to the final dock. Once he takes this out, it's going to be a difficult spot for Kaister. So AgeofKiller definitely doing quite well, demonstrating exactly how to deal with the Portuguese here. Obviously using the Spanish, so it's kind of cheating in a way because Spain is just so good at the moment.
Spanish Explorer just cutting down all the Minutemen on 1 HP, just absolutely being an god among men. But here comes the Spanish Lancers just to clean up what's left. A couple was it Colonial Hussars there from Portugal? That's actually quite a nice unit for the right time. Hussars doing a very strong job versus Lancer Cavalry. Those Lancers are strong versus infantry, pretty weak versus cavalry. But all it needs is a Rodolero shipment behind from the Spanish player. Then those Hussars will unfortunately not be the correct unit for the job. And the famous Rodolero Lancer combination is notoriously hard to micro against. But Breeze is just happy going Musketeer Lancers. A combination rarely seen, but Breeze knows best. He's currently got 3 TPs, taking down Kaiser's final one, forcing Kaiser to push out and trying to fight, but Kaiser hasn't got the military strength for this, and Spain's eco, he's got the land eco, he's got the TP eco, he's still got some boats on the water as well. It's just taking off for Breeze, and Kaiser's, well, he's run out of fish. He's only got 1 whale, but he's got no more fish, no more food eco, and especially the Portuguese heavy reliance on food for the Hussars, Castors, Musketeers, and Dragoons. Military numbers may be lacking here for the Portuguese player.
Definitely seems it might be the case. A huge amount of Lancers now beginning to build up. We've got 15 Lancers for Breeze playing the Spanish. Compare that over to Kaister right now, who's got only 10 Hussars. So significantly outnumbered, significantly outgunned. He's lost everything on the water. So a very difficult spot for him. He's down about 6k score at the moment as well. So really not having a good time. We now see AgeofKiller moving towards the south of the map. Looking like he's going to be going for a bit of a death push here. Minutemen getting called from the town center down towards the south. We've also got the archaic infantry combat. Going to be increasing the attack of Rodoleros as well as pikemen. And the Lancers aren't able to really get a connection in. We've got the veteran Castors escaping with their 5 melee attack. I say that, but we've now got the Lancers moving to get into position. Looks like the Lancers are going to be able to get in on top. 2 organ guns popping out the back. Organ guns going to begin focusing down those Rodoleros. We see the Rodoleros beginning to take a lot of damage. But as you mentioned earlier, this is a little bit of a difficult fight to actually micro against. We've now got the organ guns on the back that are getting poked down by the pokey sticks of the Lancer. And good game gets called by Kaister. 4th game going over to AgeofKiller. Congratulations.
Breeze is just dominating Kaiser this series. I mean, I was expecting a couple of games here and there to exchange, but if you said to me, a best of 7, and I get to play Portuguese on the summer version, game in, game out, that's should be to your advantage and looking very strong. But Breeze putting out another S tier civ underwater, the Spanish position. We see quite a lot of jumps in resources. Breeze utilizing the Agemon coin and wood crate shipment effectively to jump in resources.